All right, welcome back to the plumbing diagrams class. So today what we're going to be covering is converting those bird's eye view drawings that you've been doing such a great job on, converting that over to isometric. So we're going to start just the way we started the bird's eye view, starting it very simple, one fixture, one little item at a time. What we're going to do is we're going to go back and look at each individual fixture and how did we draw the bird's eye for that. But then we're going to look at that bird's eye view drawing and say, how do I take that now and convert that and draw that isometrically? So let's just go ahead and jump in and get started with that. So what we've got is I think we started with the water closet last time, so that's where we'll start again. On the floor plan, you will see a water closet drawn. Okay, so there's where it was, and we said, all right, let's design the bird's eye view of that, the plumbing for that, the drainage system. So we talked about circles representing the vertical turns. Okay, so we drew that, and we said whichever direction we took the drain out in, and drew it in that direction. And then I might have given an instruction to put a clean out in the back. And so you're all very familiar with that. You keep it right in line with the drain and put the symbol for a clean out. So that's where you've been. And then you've actually been taking all these individual fixtures and combining them together to do full bathrooms and adding in kitchens and laundries and everything else. So hopefully you're doing pretty good, feeling comfortable with that. So now we're going to take this and convert it to your isometric. So you've got to have the isometric paper. Once again, I think most of you have ordered pads of that. If you don't, you can also go to waterproofpaper.com. And you needed this for last class as well. Let me write it up here. Waterproofpaper.com. And you went there and followed to the free printables, graph paper, and under graph paper, you went to the isometric, and you can print that paper out, either portrait where it's sitting tall or landscape. Often as you start, it doesn't really matter when we're doing little small drawings, but as we start to get to bigger stuff, you're probably going to want to take that paper and print that off in the landscape view. And what that means is just where the page is looking like this versus this. Okay, there's the portrait, here's landscape. For these small ones, either one's going to be fine. Even the portrait view is going to work out fine. But as we start to combine these together in an isometric view, you're probably going to want to do landscape. Okay. Now, if you look closely at the isometric paper, to orient your paper correctly, there ought to be vertical lines on your page. So you're going to see, this is the grid pattern that you will see on your paper. You should have some vertical lines going up, but then you're also going to see this grid pattern of these 30-degree angle lines cutting through that, okay? Now that's one little section. If you look real close at your isometric paper, this is one little cell of many of them on the paper. So if you notice what it's going to happen to keep doing, this is going to keep going. And on your paper, the lines would go this way and continue this way. This is going to continue this way. This is going to cut up and go this way. And then you have these vertical lines cutting through here, vertical lines cutting through here. So you've got all these little triangle, this grid pattern. But if you break it down, if you're looking at just one little section, what I want you to do is you're going to look at that one vertical line passing through and these 30-degree angles crossing through here. Okay, look at that. Okay, this is going to be your guide. You're going to follow and stay on these lines. Now, if you've got your paper and you've got lines that are going this way, and then the lines are going like this, you've got your paper turned the wrong direction. Okay, this is not correct. We do not want that. You want it with vertical lines going up through, okay? Make sure you got your paper turned right. Okay, now you're ready to start drawing. When converting the bird's eye view to isometric, you've got to remember the circle on a bird's eye represents a vertical line, okay? And I think you all have the hang of that because you've been drawing it just fine. But now, as we convert that, A vertical line, if it's vertical on the bird's eye, it's always going to go straight up and down on your isometric. So vertical or circle. So what that's going to mean to you is a circle on the bird's eye is always going to be representing. You're going to always be drawing a line up and down vertically on the isometric for that. Okay. Now, solid lines, which were horizontal lines, when you start your drawing, you can then take it off in 4 different directions. So the horizontal lines are going to follow these 30-degree angles. Okay. So if you look at this, you've got 4 different lines. You've got from the center, you've got a line going out this way. From the center, you have a line going out this way. From the center, a line going this way. And from the center, a line going this way. Okay. So when you first start a drawing, you can choose from which angle you're going to draw it. Excuse me. Because an isometric drawing can be drawn from 4 different perspectives, 4 different angles. And we can just say we've got, let's just put this here. We're just going to number them for now. This is not a set numbering system or anything I'm following. I'm just going to show you there's 1 angle, 2 angles, 3 angles, 4 angles. Okay. All right. So what you're doing now, you can picture this center as a center line axis to where the whole thing would spin. So we're not changing the plumbing, but maybe what you're doing. So let's just show it. If we were going to, here's the fixture, the toilet, right? So if I was going to picture your wall section where there was a wall here. So if that is the wall, oh, I got to get rid of this green. If the wall section looks like this, okay. So the wall is running from 2 to 4, going along like this. So if I was going to draw my toilet from perspective 1, okay, I think you can see that well enough. See how the toilet is pointing out facing the number 1? Okay, now what's going to happen as we change? I'm not going to change the plumbing at all, but as we rotate to, let's pretend this whole thing, this wall just spun and rotated between 1 and 3. Now that was, let me erase this just for now. If you remember doing your wall sections, I had you do a corner wall. Okay, I had you do a wall like this that was going from like 2 to 4, but then a corner and the wall coming down between 3 to 1. Now, what we did is if this was the same wall, though, and we just rotated around this same wall to rotate to look like this, the toilet is going to be facing 2. Okay, see how the toilet's coming out? We didn't change anything. We took the wall and we rotated it around to 2. Now you also have 2 back angles. Pretend you took this wall and rotated the wall to where it was over here now. Okay? You took it's almost like creating the other 2 walls of the room. So if you're looking at it from here, but now you're just seeing the back of the toilet. The toilet is going out this direction. See? And the toilet's facing out this way. The other possible angle would be to go to number 4. That would have been number 3. And then number 4 would be as if the toilet was sitting this direction. There's your toilet facing that way. So the toilet here facing this way. Now, what you got to remember is this is not a room. It's not a room with 4 different toilets in it. You took this one wall with one toilet and you just keep rotating. It's like you spinning it around. But we can look at that same wall from 4 different perspectives. We can look at it from kind of the front if you're viewing this one, if you're viewing this toilet, see how we're kind of in front of the toilet, but over in the left side of the room looking at the toilet. If we were going to look at this toilet, it's the same toilet, but from angle number 2, we kind of pretend that we walk to the other corner and say, well, let me look at that same toilet, but I'm going to go stand in the right side of the room looking at it. So it was like we're looking at the same toilet, but now we're not looking at it from this perspective. We're going over to this corner and looking at it. And then we rotate it around and say, oh, well, let me look at this toilet and see what it looks like from the back. And so we walked around to the back and we looked at it from the back left side, looking at the toilet this way. But then we also walked around to the toilet and looked and said, what is that toilet going to look like if we looked at it from this back right side? And what if we were standing here looking at it, it would look like this. So what you're doing, it's like an object in the middle, and you're looking at it from, oh, I'm going to walk to this way and look at that object. Oh, well, let me walk around to this way and look at the object that's here in the middle. Oh, well, let me walk around here and look at it from this perspective, and let me walk around and look at it from this perspective. The object doesn't change. The plumbing doesn't change. Our perspective is changing. We're just walking around it saying, oh, let me look and see what it looks like from here. Oh, let me walk over to here and let me see what it looks like from here. So that's what we're doing with these isometrics. And there's 4 different views we can look at each object. And it can help you remember it by seeing these 4 little lines here in that little isometric pattern. Okay, so let's jump back and look at that toilet. Here was the toilet from a bird's eye view, the circle, the clean out in the back, and the drain that went in this direction. So where I like to start is I like to start with the vertical circle. Okay, so the circle represents a vertical line. And if you remember, when we come over to here, you say vertical in real life is always vertical straight up and down on my paper. So to start this toilet, you're going to draw a little vertical line. You're going to copy right over top. You're highlighting over top the lines that are on your paper. The lines on the paper, use them. It makes it easy to draw your angles. Okay, so what we just drew is we just drew this circle, the vertical. Now, what gets a little confusing to people is as you're going back and forth, when you drew this vertical and you come over here, it looks most like a vertical line that we did right here. Okay, so it looks like, oh, the vertical, oh, I must have just drawn that vertical. No. Remember, the vertical lines on the isometric is what represented vertical lines over here, the circle. So circles over here are always vertical. So really try to pound that into your head. Otherwise, you start to get confused. And what I'll start seeing is this hybrid of a drawing between kind of a cross between the bird's eye view and an isometric, a little bit of partial of this and a little partial of that. So, but really pound in your head. Circles here are good. That's the vertical. So what did you just draw? The circle. Solid lines are the horizontal lines. Now you've got 4 different options as far as which way, what perspective are we going to view this toilet? Are we going to come and are we going to look at it from this direction? Are we going to look at it from this direction? Are we going to look at it from this direction? Or are we going to look at it from here? We've got 4 different possibilities. When you first start your drawing, you get to choose what angle you're going to look at it. Okay. So, but once you choose, you've got to stick with that same view. We can't just, every time we draw a solid line, we can't just say, oh, let me choose which way I want to go. No, you only get to choose the first one. So let's just say, well, I'm going to view this thing and let's follow angle 1. So we're about to draw this horizontal line. Horizontal line, you're going to follow a line. So we're going to come down and say, well, from one perspective, I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to send the drain out. So what you just did is you just drew this solid line right here, and you followed one of the angles, and we chose angle 1 to begin with, and we came down. Now we got to put a clean out in the back, and how that's going to be represented, just follow a little bit ways out the back. Okay. a straight up and down line representing the clean out. And we're going to put a little bit of a water closet flange up on top there so you can see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually, let me move that to the side. I don't know if there's just too many lines for you to really get a good perspective. So if we followed angle 1 and drew the plumbing on its, so converting this to isometric, circle, follow the vertical line. It doesn't need to be very big because you're only going very tall because you're going from just underneath the floor just to the floor level. Then we're going to put a toilet flange right on that. And that's the floor level right there. Okay. So now we're going to, but once again, when you look at this, oh man, that almost looks like that clean out that we've got up there. Doesn't that look really close to that? You're like, this is what was on the bird's eye. That's what I just drew. Isn't that thing that thing? No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, we didn't draw this clean out yet, which is right here. What we just drew was the circle. Okay. Vertical here is going to be there. Okay, so then we followed angle number 1 to try to get this horizontal line. You picked one of those 30-degree angles. You drew a line down on that. Then we wanted to put a clean out in the back. So just the way you did on your bird's eye, you came straight in line with that horizontal drain and came out the back a little bit. And then to represent the clean out lines are going to go straight up and down. Okay. And there you have drawn your water closet isometrically following angle number 1. Now you could change up the perspective. You say, well, how about if I wanted to choose angle number 2 and come down this way? Picture that thing. And what we need to do is get those little pipe cleaners, those little things where you can weave together. I need to pick up a thing of those, and you can make, and we can bend them and make little pipes. And then you can hold on to it and just spin it in the middle, and you can watch that thing shift around and be like, yeah, it might bring some clarity to this. So, so if we did this, we just plumbed it. We don't want to change the plumbing. All we're going to do is spin it. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate everything from angle 1 and rotate it around to angle 2. So if we took 1 and we rotated it to angle 2, that is now coming down this direction. This vertical is going to go the same. Now, just to make it look clean, I like to put my water closet flanges going in the same direction, so it shows that almost that looks like that rotated as well. But then we're going to put the clean out in the back of this line. So that goes out this way, and the clean out is it's going to go little line straight up and down. So how did that look? Vertical line, just because the circle is going to stay the same. Vertical is vertical. You can look at a vertical piece of pipe from any angle you want to, and it's going to look straight up and down on your paper. Closet flange up on the top. Turn it out, and we're going to follow angle 2 this time and put a clean out in the back. And there you go. There was number 2. Number 3, vertical line. Follow the line going out for angle 3. Water closet flange on the top. Clean out in the back, which is going to be straight up and down on the clean out on that thing. Okay. I know one of them's kind of bright. I got a glare on my board. And then there's one last one, angle number 4, straight up and down. Follow angle number 4. Water closet flange on the top. Clean out in the back. Okay. So pretty easy, pretty easy. There you go. There is converting the bird's eye from a water closet over to isometric. So take your time and practice that. Go ahead and get that down in your notes. Copy that over. Show your 4 different angles of it. And get that down. All right. Then what we did is we looked at a shower or a tub shower. How did that look on the bird's eye? So you probably had a little shower compartment on the floor plan that looked like that. So when we did our plumbing for it, we did the symbol for a Ptrap. Underneath it was a circle, represent the vertical, the turn down, and a line that went out in one direction. So as you do that, you go over to your grid pattern. You get your verticals, got your 30-degree angles cutting through. So what we have here is we've got a circle, which is the vertical turn. That's the opening for the P-trap. So that's going to be here in the middle. Let's pick out, I think we had number 1 going down this way. So let's just say, let's do it from number 1. The horizontal line is going to come to here. All right. So if you highlight that and say, well, that's going to follow this angle, and you're going to put a P-trap on the end. P-traps, which look like this. Okay. Okay, there's your symbol for a P-trap, bird's eye view perspective. Isometric, circle, so that's a vertical line. It's going to come down, and then that's the turn down on that. So you're going to go back. It's going to be a dip and straight back up. And then it's going to make a turn. So on the isometric, you're going to come down, dip, and straight back up for the P-trap. Okay? So let's go over here and say, what is that going to look like on the isometric here? So we got a P-trap on the end. So we're going to find a line, go down, dip, and straight back up. There it is. I'll copy that over here so it's not in your way. Follow the 30-degree line on the one end where the trap is, down, straight down, dip, and straight back up. There was your drawing. You can follow that. You've got 4 possible angles for that isometric. You could follow number 1. You could follow number 2 and come from this direction with a trap on the end. The trap is going to go straight down, a dip, and straight back up. Okay. You could follow angle number 3, dip down, and straight back up. The trap is in the middle. We're just rotating it around. If we came from this direction, we're going to come down. Of course, yours can be nice and straight. Use your nice straight. Dip down, straight back up. There's your 4 different ones. To keep yourself straight, make sure that you're drawing. Make sure that you get all 4, and that you're not drawing the same one again. Is maybe just having that little grid pattern. Say, I'm going to be systematic. I'm going to do 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Traps on the ends. It's actually pretty simple, huh? Now, one thing we did throw in there is we did say, oh, how about we put a vent in that wall? The vent on the bird's eye is a circle, representing a circle. Circle on the circle on here, which represents the vertical line. Vertical in real life is vertical on your isometric paper. So circles are going to always be straight up and down. Now, as if it's just plain vent, how we draw that is we draw it with dashed lines. So where does the vent join in? Oh, well, about in the middle of this horizontal drain. Where's the horizontal drain? Well, this is the horizontal drain. So let's find about the middle of it. Oh, there's about the middle. Now, circle, so that's going to represent straight up. So you're going to go here, and vents are represented by dashed lines. So I'm going to go straight up on the paper, dash line. And we're just adding in a vent, straight up. Okay? Straight into the line there. There you go. Now you just added a vent. Vent from all 4 different angles. Vertical different looks the same as you're going to rotate around there. Okay, now that could have been for a tub or it could be for a shower, either one. So you basically hit both of them right now on that. There's your 4 angles. So make sure, get that down in your notes. Gotta cover that. Let's look at let's see, what do we need to go to from there? Let's look at the laundry. Let's look at the laundry. Bird's eye view perspective. Remember, we said there's probably a wall in the back. On your floor plan, it's going to look like this. Washer, dryer. How you plumbed the bird's eye for it is you put the vent back in the wall, labeled it V, armed over, symbol for the trap in the wall, because that's that trap right behind in the wall where we put a washer box above it. and then maybe we took the drain out and maybe put a clean out in the back. Okay. So here's where we start to get a little bit more, because now we got two horizontal lines and they're going in different directions of each other. So this is where it starts to get a little bit more tricky, but I think you just follow me through on this and I believe you can get it. Okay. So 4 different angles of a washer. Here's your grid pattern. Vertical with the 30-degree lines coming through it. So let's start with the main vent here right in the middle, okay? So that's going to be a vertical, that is going to be a vertical line here. Now this vertical line is going to be a little bit taller than the water closet, because the water closet was only going up to the floor level from underneath the floor. So this one's going to have to go up a little higher, but let's just stop it there for now. And then we had, let's follow, we're going to draw our first horizontal line here, and we're going to come out, let's just follow number 1. So that's, what we just drew was this circle right here. We're going to take this one and follow angle number 1. That's going to follow angle number 1 down. So we just drew this. Oh, I put a clean out in the back. So let's go ahead and come right on out the back a little bit. And we got a vertical line representing that clean out. Now, we chose to follow angle 1. Now, if you look at this, we're about to come in and add in, we want to come this little arm off that's up in the wall. Now, one thing that with the isometric, it provides you more depth to the drawing than the bird's eye view. It doesn't show you any depth. It looks like this one and that one, they could be right there side by side on the same level. We don't know. The only reason you know that they're not is because you know something about plumbing. You know this drain is under the floor. You know this drain is up in the wall. The isometric is going to show that separation. So what you're going to have to do, once you've got this part drawn, there's also, but you're going to follow this grid. These blocks just keep going up, okay? Like this on your paper. So if this was under the floor, and this was the pipe, the drain that was going through the floor, and then it's going to continue on up as a vent, you're going to come up vertically until you get to a cross pattern. It's one up in the walls, okay? So you went up a couple blocks and said, all right, if that's going to be, this is T'ing into that line, we're going to put a T right in here, okay? But now you're going to choose, and you got to decide, well, hang on, drop the marker. So which line am I going to follow? So we need to draw this line here, and this one in relationship to each other. We don't want to change the plumbing. Excuse me. So you get up here and say, okay, I'm going to tee off. I'm going to come over in the wall and put a trap somewhere. You've got 4 different choices that you can follow. And say, well, when I tee off the line, am I going to come out this way? Or am I going to come out this way? Am I going to come out this way? Or if I'm going to come out this way? Which one am I supposed to come off and follow? Okay. Now, I don't know. Some of you might be able to look at it and visualize it right away and say, oh, I know exactly which one it is. I mean, I could see. But let's try to, maybe you could help visualize it this way. Here's the bird's eye view. Once again, just blowing up a little bit. Okay. There's the bird's eye view, what we were trying to draw. Picture your car. Picture this as a road. You're on the car and you're driving this way and you hit a roundabout. There's your roundabout, right? Okay, and then you've got roads that are going to come off. Picture that this would be a road. Picture that as a road coming off, and this is a road coming off. Now, the one we're going to follow, we're going to take, if we hit the roundabout and we turn to the right, we're going to take that first exit off to the right. We're going to take that first road to our right. We're not going to go around and go straight through, and we're not coming around to the third one and going to our left from where we're originally coming in at. We're going to go to the right. So picture this, but now there is the vertical. Picture this part right here in the middle as the roundabout. If this was the one we were following and we were coming in at this to hit the roundabout, so because we had this line right here coming to the roundabout, that was this line we drew. Put the clean out in the back. So as the example we're trying to follow, we're trying to come here and take the first exit and go off to the right. Isometrically, we were coming in from this angle to hit the roundabout. If you hit it here, there's your first exit to the right. That is straight through. That's coming around and going to your left. Can you kind of visualize that? Or maybe you visualize yourself as a person standing here and you're looking at it, viewing it from this direction to say, which one is your right hand? Which one's your left hand? If you're looking this way, you're standing like this. If I wanted to turn to the right, I'm going to follow the one that goes this way. There's my right hand. So we're going to come vertically in the wall. We were coming this direction from it was the original. So we're not going back in the direction of the original. If we continued to go this way, that's going straight through. We didn't want straight through, so that's not right. We had this one over here, like it's coming off to the left, but we don't want that. The original showed it going to the right. So if we were coming this way, this would be our left-hand turn. We don't want that one. We want to go off to the right. So you follow this one. That is the correct one. Then you have a symbol for a Ptrap at the end. There's your symbol for the Ptrap. Ptrap is always straight down, dip, straight back up. There you go. Coming off the top of that, it's going to change from drain to vent, and you're going to show the vent coming right on up. Okay? All right, let's see. Now, what I would do on that washer, just to make it look a little bit better. So if I was going to draw that same angle, they're following the angle 1 with that 30-degree line. I turned vertical. I got above the floor. I came off to the right side of the drain because that's where it was showing depicted. It's got the trap, so it's a turn down, a dip, and straight back up. I'm going to go a little bit higher than that because remember how we plumb our standpipes? That's somewhere between 18 to 48 inches. And then we put a washer box on top. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little washer box just to help show that that is the laundry area. And then this one over here becomes vent, and that's going to go on up. All right. That was one perspective of this, of the isometric for this washer. Let's look at that as we go to, let's draw it from another perspective. How about if we went to angle number 2? Let's come down from angle number 2. So now the horizontal drain comes down as we followed angle number 2. We came over and the vertical is going to be the exact same. We turn vertical, clean out in the back. Now here's your deciding factor. You're like, well, where's it going to go? Where's it going now? Now picture this as it rotates. See the crosshair going through there? When you rotate this drawing, if you get your first one correct, you should make it the next one's easier. Let's spin it. When we spun this whole thing and we went from angle 1 to 2, you rotate. You skip the vertical, but say, I'm going to rotate to the next horizontal position. The vertical does not count as a position. We're going to rotate from one horizontal line to the next horizontal line. So remember how we were coming down here? We rotated this around and now it's pointing this way. Look at your original. You drew it up here. You're going to go from one horizontal line, spin it, and go to the next horizontal line. The next horizontal line is going to be coming out this direction. Right? You just spun it, and now you're following this direction. would be, if this spun one, this is going to spin one. Trap on the end of it. Trap is straight down, dip, and straight back up. And that goes out as the vent. You just drew it now from angle number 2. You could put a washer box up on top of that if you want to. Now let's look at this. Same thing happens if you want to picture yourself as standing on the end of the pipe, looking at it from this perspective. Look at your little hands. Well, for this guy, they're big hands. You're looking at it on the bird's eye. You said, oh, if I look at it, it branches off to the right. So it needs to branch off to the right. Which one's your right hand? As you're viewing it for this perspective. This is my left hand. This is my right hand. I'm viewing it here. And does it go to your right? Yes, it does. So you can picture it like either the man standing on the end of the thing looking at the stack, or you could picture, I don't know if the car perspective helps you, like, oh, we were coming in this way, we're driving this way, I hit the roundabout, and I've got to make a decision. There's my cross pattern. I was coming this way. If I was driving like that, if I went straight through, there's straight through. If I made a left-hand turn, that's a left-hand turn. I want to make a right-hand turn because my original shows to the right. So I was coming this way. My right-hand turn would be that way. All right. And so, yeah, we did draw it right. Let's do that one more. Let's just spin it one more time. So we're going from this solid line. Now let's go to angle 3. So we spun it one more. This one spins this way. This one is going to spin to the next one. Make sure, skip the vertical. Skip the vertical, and that one's going to go to here. Okay? So this one rotated around to coming out this way. So we've got the bottom one, bottom horizontal line, coming in at this 30-degree angle. We hit the vertical stack. Vertical's going to always look vertical. Clean out in the back. And then we rotated this one around to now it's here. That's going to come down this direction. We got that coming out. Trap on the end. Straight down, dip, straight back up. We could put a washer box up on the top of it. Now, what we're doing is we're viewing it from the back. So as you look at your drawing, it doesn't look like you drew it, but then you came to the left. You're like, well, that went to the left. Well, no, it didn't go to the left. The drawing, the plumbing stayed the same. It didn't change. Our perspective changed. We walked around to the back and looked at it. So if you look at it from the back side, then it does look like it's going to the left to you. So, but here, view it this way. There's your guy now. He's still standing. He's still standing. Whoa. Okay, there's your hand. There's your hand. He's still standing, looking at the stack. Now he's looking at it from this way. Which one is his left hand and which one is his right hand? If he is looking at it from this perspective, he's standing this way now. This is his left hand. This is his right hand. So that's his left. This is his right hand. So did we really go? We wanted to come to the stack and turn to the right. So, because that's the original. Is that what we did? He's viewing this, and this is going off towards his right hand. Picture yourself. If you were driving the car to the intersection, hit the intersection. You're coming this way. That would be straight through. If you're driving this way, that would be a left-hand turn. This would be a right-hand turn. So yes, that is actually going to the right. We did not change the plumbing. Don't change your plumbing. Just change your perspective. That was number 3. If you rotated them one more time, we got angle number 4. We got to catch all 4 angles. So now the drain goes up this way. We've got the vertical turn, which ends up turning into vent. We put a clean out in the back. Now, if we're standing here, now we're trying to decide, oh, I'm about this height, and I need to know which way is it going to go. I've got this cross pattern going through here, and I'm trying to decide which line do I follow. There's your dude. That's you standing on the end. You're looking at it going this way. Which one is your right hand? You're over here now. Looking that way. Ah, this is my right, this is my left. So that's his right hand. There's his left hand. How was the original? It goes to the right. So if you're viewing it, looking at this way, which one most looks like his right arm? Going to the right. Oh, that one right there. See that? This one would be going towards his left hand. That one would be looking straight on through the way he's looking. This one is looking straight back at him. So we're not doing that. We're not going straight back at him. We're not going straight away from him. We're going time between the right and left. Goes to the right. That's his right hand. There's the choice you ought to make, is to follow this one. That one comes off to the right. What was the original? P-trap on the end. So P-traps are straight down, dips, and straight back up. We can put a washer box up on top of that so we know it's a washer. And there is your angle. Well, it's supposed to be straight up. It's got a little bit of lean. Bad plumber putting leans on his pipes. Anyway, okay, there you go. And that's your 4 different angles of that. Okay, we're going to stop there today because we're going to even add in another angle when we start to do another turn for lavatories and things. We're going to stop right here. What I would like for you to do for practice, hopefully you've got all these down. I'm going to have you draw some stuff, just what we've drawn in the lesson. So, basically go back, look at the lesson, look at your notes, and do it. There are how many different angles that you can draw for an isometric? 4 possible angles. Now, I'm not going to have you draw all 4. I want you to pick any 2. Okay, any 2. Here's what I want you to draw. Here's what you're drawing. We covered a water closet today. 4 angles of that. We covered the shower today. And we did 4 angles of that. And then we covered a clothes washer today. Washer and dryer. And then we did 4 angles of that. So 3 fixtures. I'm going to put some bird's eye view plumbing in here. And then I want you to draw these from 4 different angles. Okay. So let's take this. Okay. Now, don't get thrown off by this. I know that on our sample, I drew it down this way. Isometric doesn't care. It doesn't care which way on the bird's eye. You still got the vertical and you still got 4 possible angles. You're going to look at that. Okay. So if you're taking that toilet away, as long as you're not drawing the toilet, you're just drawing the plumbing for it, it's going to look exactly like the other. Okay. So don't fret that any. So if I turn it, when I was turning it this way, or if I turn it this way. So let's do this one, the trap. It goes here under the wall. We're going to turn that up and put a vent in the wall and come out there. All right. Washer and dryer, I'll keep that the same. Let's just do that with a clean out in the back. This comes down, they come over and put a trap in the wall. There you go. So what I would like is I want you to draw 2 angles isometrically of each of these. Okay, that's your assignment for this week. I will collect that. If you got them on Tuesday, I'm going to make them due on Thursday. But if you got them on Tuesday of next week, you can turn them into me then. But due on Thursday. Make sure everybody's got all their drawings caught up to this point. These isometrics are going to really start to build and get on top. I want you to stay right up on top of these drawings. But show me 2 angles of the water closet isometrically. You pick the 2, any 2 that you want to out of the 4. 2 angles of this, 2 angles of this. That's your work for the week. So if you got any questions, reach out to me, let me know. But have fun practicing with that, and I look forward to seeing how you do. So, all right, until next time, see you then.